Hello friends and welcome back to Knitting in the Heights. I'm Chrissy and welcome to my podcast. If this is your first time joining, thank you so much for checking me out. If you are a returning viewer and a longtime watcher and friend at this point, thank you again for coming back and checking out what's going on with my knitting life. It is springing. It is springtime. We have finally made it. It's still kind of chilly here in New York City, but at least there's no snow in the forecast because it's been crazy how much snow we've had this year. It's like the years of old or something. We've had blizzards. We've actually had school canceled, which hasn't happened in New York since the pandemic. I'm excited to share with you all of my knitting and to talk about some of the things I'm doing in my crafty life. So let's go ahead and get started with my newest cast on. So Friday was March 20th. It is the 22nd today. And March 20th is the spring equinox, which is also Ostara in the wheel of the year. And this year I decided to cast on a pair of socks. So let me grab those. They're living in one of my very precious sweet bags. My unicorn and bunny bag with fairies. And I love this bag. Again, I don't know who made it. I bought it off Etsy a while ago, but I really do love this bag. It's very well made. I wish that more bag makers would put labels of who they are in their bags because you can only remember for so long. And I had to change my Etsy account. This is weird, but I had to change my Etsy account a while ago. And because of that, I can't see my past purchases. So what I'm making is the color palette socks. This is a free pattern by Laura Moratz. I'm going to try to put a picture on the screen for you to take a look at. But if you can see, it's color blocked, which is really fun. So I cast this on Friday and I knit on it a little bit yesterday. I went, Gabe and I took a trip up to Yonkers to hang out with one of my work colleagues and his son. He is a single dad. And his son is just about the same age as Gabe. Is maybe not full year older than Gabe, but something like that. He's 12, Gabe's 11. Maybe he's a full year older than Gabe. Anyway, we went to a jump park and then we grabbed pizza afterwards. And so I took these with me. So I'm knitting these on size, they're probably US 1.5. So let me just check. Sorry, I have to deglassify for these days. Yes, they're 1.5s or 2.5 millimeter needles. I knit with DPNs for socks primarily, just because that is my jam and I dig it. And we're starting with a twisted 1x1 rib. The yarns I'm using are all minis and leftovers from other projects, so I'm, destashifying, which is part of my plan for the year. And I have a random set of wooden DPNs in here that I probably should remove because they're driving me nuts because they're getting caught in the yarn. Anyway, here's the first colorway. This is Ash from a Homespun House in her sock base. I use this to knit my friend Liz's Stephen West shawl, twists and turns. It took a minute, even though I lived with that shawl for 3 years or something. But yeah, I'm using that that'll be like the cuffs, heels, and toes, as well as the interspersing twisted rib pattern sections in between the color blocks. And then the rest of the yarn I'm using all sparkle yarns, all from Green Lambkin. So we're starting with the bunny hop colorway. This is a remainder. I have knit 2 pairs of socks out of this already. Yes, I'm wearing the other pair right now, actually. And another pair I gave to my daughter, Colleen. But yeah, so I still had some left over. And I thought for Ostara, which is, kind of the pagan precursor to Easter, bunnies and rabbits play a huge part in that holiday. So we're going to go with the bunny hop colorway. So this is one of the colors, and it's only going to be one of the blocks. But I also have this beautiful green. This was, the rest of them are all from Suzanne's advent calendar. It was the Christmas Around the World calendar. I believe this is the Christmas pickle colorway. So there's that one. I've got this gray one, which I don't know And it may actually be, I don't know if this is from, this one might not be from Suzanne actually, but I don't know where it comes from. But anyway, it's the same base and it's the same silver sparkle. So I figured I'd add that because there's some gray in there. I also have this really cool one, which is like, I thought it was like poinsettia or something, but it's actually like Christmas radish, which is a thing from Mexico. So yeah, so it's like pinks and whites. So that'll be one of the blocks. And then I have this one, which is like Irish sea or something like that. It's like a pretty teal color. That'll be one of the blocks. And then finally, I have one that I haven't wound up yet, and that'll be actually fun to put in. These little balls just like to unwind so fast. Hold on. Okay, the last one is like this, and I threw the tag was stuck in the little mini skein. So this one is called Winterfest from Hong Kong, which is a festival of lights. And I think, yeah, it's a festival of lights, but it's got a lot of the same kind of color palette in it, just slightly different from the others. So if you take a look, these are basically my color palette for all of the color blocks. I think that will be really, really fun. Oh, I forgot this one. It'll be really, really fun to knit these up, even though they have wintry themes. I mean, the fact is like black with kind of like bright colors can go any time of year, right? So that's what we're doing on that one. So this will, yeah, this is kind of my most vanilla knitting that's portable. So this is going to be really handy because my other knitting, it's not vanilla really right now. And I'll explain why in a minute. But yeah, it's my vanilla portable knitting. So we're going to go ahead and put these back in their bag. Now, my next work in progress, we're going to work backwards through the wheel of the year to start, is the first holiday in the calendar year that I cast on. And this is for the holiday of Imbolc. Imbolc is, it's a winter, like a late winter holiday that the idea is that spring is on its way. It's kind of the last hurrah of winter. It focuses on the goddess Bridget, or Saint Bridget in the Christian mythology. The idea is she was put in prison. She's a summer goddess, and she's put in prison, and she is, I think she's let out of prison, or she's like getting ready to be let out of prison. But the idea is that everything is stirring under the earth and waking back up. That is what it's about. So it's all about spring starting to come to fruition, even if it's cold outside. So that holiday is on February 1st. And I cast on a really beautiful top called the Poisoned Apple Top. And let me show you this, where it's at. It's by Lily Kate France. It is one of the best written patterns I've ever used in my life. Check her out. She has beautiful instructions. The only thing I don't like about her instructions, and this is my personal preference, is how she describes her short rows. That's the only thing. That is the only issue I have with her pattern writing, but it's so incredibly detailed. It's so thoughtful on the sizing. I'm really curious to see how this is going to fit, but she gives you extraordinarily good details about every single step in the process, and it is not knit like any other knit I've ever done. Okay, I have a lot of extra needles falling out of my bag. So we're going to start with, I am using two different yarns for this. The first is a lace weight yarn. It is by Amplifiber. Nope, that's the wrong one. Which one is that one? Ooh, let me see. Hold on. Oh, it's by Blue Thistle Fibers. Sorry, this is by Blue Thistle Fibers. It's a lace weight mohair yarn. And it's in the light orange tulip colorway, which looks like, I'll just show you on the sweater. It's easier. It looks like that color. So it's like a sort of a peachy rose, almost like a, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's not orange at all. It's like it's kind of a peach, like a coral color, which is like one of my favorite colors. And then the other yarn I'm using is a DK weight. This is from Amplifiber. in the nylon DK 8515, and in the color Spring Awakening, which has all of these pretty like pinky corally peaches with a little bit of kind of like a taupey, so like a brown with even like there's almost like black speckles in there, and there's some really bright like pops of like coral and orange, and yeah, it's a really cool color. It's a really cool color. I really love this color. So anyhow, you start this sweater actually on one side of the back. I can't remember which side, but you basically knit this side from the back to like around, somewhere around here. Okay. And then, well, to about there. And then you knit the other side. And then you join them. Okay. So what's going to happen is this is the back, and that's going to fasten like this. Okay. So it has a keyhole back, which is cool. Then you go to the fronts, and you start with one of the side of the fronts, and then you do the other side of the front, and then you join them. Okay. When you get past here, you join them. You see that there, it's the shaping for the neckline. So basically you get kind of the sheer panel right up here, which is really quite pretty. Then you add in, I basically took it a little longer than suggested in the pattern, because I don't mind a little décolletage at all. Because I had looked at other women who had knitted in my size, and it looked like they went extraordinarily to pattern on that. And it didn't, just because of like boob shelf. It like stopped here on them, which, you know, it's not what the model looks like. I think the designers, the way it looks, she has décolletage that comes like further down. So I just kept going a few more repeats, and it says in the pattern you totally can. So I did. So I added it, and I was like, okay, I think that's going to be a place like when I kind of held it up to myself and realized, because this is also going to come up a bit because there's a neckline that you add. It's going to get me right up to that point where you just see the tiniest bit of cleavage, which is cool. Then you knit till you join in the round, that side, and then you join in the round, and then you just go round and round and round. And there are decreases ever so often because it's more of a fitted type sweater. The next step, I don't even know. I haven't read ahead in the pattern. I kind of like this. Like it's just kind of like cool that I'm not doing that. So once I'm at the point where you do the body and then you do the bottom rib, but I have a lot more to do on the body before I get to the bottom rib, and there's a lot of knitting. I mean, it's just stockinette, but I haven't had a ton of knitting time. So anyway, it's kind of hard to like just find knitting time right now. So, which is fine. We're in that season, but I am knitting, which is good. I'm not knitting. Last year, this time I was not knitting. So that's a bad thing. So anyway, so I've made, like I think when you would have last seen it, it would have been like the smallest bit, because I last podcasted right around in bulk. So yeah, so this is really exciting that this has come so far. There will be, you pick up, I know that the next steps are either doing the sleeves, which are these really pretty puff sleeves in the DK weight, or the collar. So that's what'll be coming next. I am very excited to have this. I don't know if it'll be wearable with the weather changing by the time I do finish it, but that's okay. I'm going to pack it away. It'll be ready for that day when it can be wearable. It may be fine, like especially on a chilly night or something like that, but we'll see. So yes, that is my in-bulk cast on. All right, I'm going to now grab my New Year's Day cast on. Okay, for New Year's Day, this is one of my 12 cast-ons that I did, but I didn't do a full 12. But this is one of my 12 cast-ons that I did for the year. So if you don't know about this cast-on thing, this is run by Anne from Yarn and Yarns podcast. And a lot of people cast on full 12 cast-ons between the winter solstice and the end of January. I did not do that. So I basically cast on as many as I felt like I could get on the needles, and almost everything that I'm showing you today from this point, with the exception, maybe, I can't remember if they are all 12 cast-ons, but I did have quite a few So here we go. Let's take a look at my New Year's Day cast on. These are the Beatles mittens. Now, they have had some, I haven't put a lot of love on them since I last podcasted, but I had a whole situation. I lost my game of yarn chicken with my original yarn. I still haven't pulled that out, but I had to change yarn, and I'm so thankful I did because it actually looks a lot better in the yarns I chose the second time around. So let me just show you where they're at. This is more of a, reality check for me to remember I have these on the needles and I probably should put some love on them. But these are the Beatles mittens by Knitting Lotta, the same designer that I knit the Kiss mittens out of for my friend. And here we go. So you can see that's John Lennon's face. And on the back, we've got half of the bodies of 2 of the Beatles crossing the zebra crossing. The yarn I'm using is the Cancer colorway. This was from an astrology advent club that I did, not this winter, but the winter before. That's the blue, the tealy blue. That's this color. And then the other color is Art Nouveau. This color here, this was the main skein from my Art Nouveau advent calendar from Felicity Yarn Studio from 2 years ago. So not last year, not the year before, the year before that, actually. Yeah. So I'm glad to get to use these yarns. They're really pretty. They're working very well together. I do like how they're looking. I just need to bring them back at some point. I have a feeling that when the weather kind of warms up, this kind of a small project will be something that I gravitate towards during the summer. I do have a surgery I am currently planning for the month of August that will actually keep me out of work at least 2 weeks, where I'm not going to be able to do very much at all. So I think my knitting life is going to take over, and I think it's small projects I'm just going to be finishing a bunch of stuff during that time. And then also, even following that, I may be doing some work from home for the rest of August, with minimal work. It just depends on my healing, but my plan is to take a lot, quite a bit of time in August, like I did last year, but even more time because I'm recovering from a surgery. So that's the plan right now. So I might do it then. It's whenever the mood strikes me, really, with these guys. There's no deadline. I would like them by next winter, but I'm not going to wear them in the summer. So the next sweater is the Finest Kind, and I cast this on last October. So this is Scrappy Gloriousness. It is a pattern by Alicia Plummer, and it is basically a seed stitch pattern. I did a lot of work on this when it was really cold out last month. And what I'm doing is I am holding 3 yarns together. Sorry, there's mohair. I am not allergic to mohair. I thought I was. And in fact, even this time around, I thought I was because I was knitting on the other mohair as well. It turns out I was accidentally eating allspice and I didn't realize it. So I had gotten a new pepper mill, one of the ones that are pre-filled with like peppercorns. I didn't realize it was a pepper mill plus blend, and it had allspice. And I was like putting allspice on my food, and I'm like, I must be from the mohair. No, it's not. I was literally causing myself to have a neurotoxin in my body. Anyway, I'm fine. I was just having some asthma issues, but no problem since. I've been knitting a lot on that sweater once I stopped using the pepper mill, and I'm totally fine. But as you can see, it's like this totally beautiful kind of marled effect. And I'm just using magic knot balls, 2 magic knot balls I made many, many years ago with all the beautiful yarns that I had left over from lots and lots of projects, held with Mountain Taupe from Craftily Dyed Yarn in her Kid Silk Lace weight. It's this kind of like taupey gray color. And it just evens out. That was my cat knocking down one of my yarn things. It just evens out the colors a little bit. But yeah, it's real cool. This is going to be cozy for next winter. Again, no deadline on this. I'm going to be just knitting on things as they call to me, except when I have new cast-ons. But I would like to actually start getting some things off the needles. I mean, this one is such a heavy knit that if it's at all warm inside, I don't necessarily want to knit on it, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Okay, so that one's coming along. It's basically an Aran weight when you hold all of this triple. But yeah, I'm happy with the pattern. It's super meditative and was very nice. This is like perfect TV knitting kind of thing. I watched most of the miniseries Vikings, knitting both this, like I'm in the last season right now. And also some Bridgerton. Oh my God, Bridgerton was so good. I need to rewatch the entire series now. I'm just like hooked, and Outlander's out now. So it's like, I have all the things to watch. So that's exciting. And no time. All right. So that one is it's kind of sitting in hiatus a little bit. And another one that's in hiatus, I'll just briefly share with you if you're new to this podcast. But if you're not, I have put no work on this one. This bag, actually, I absolutely love, and I can tell you where it's from. It's Sassy Sacks by Yaddy, I think. I think that's her. I think I got her card in here, actually. Sassy Sacks by Yaddy in Etsy, and she used to live in the Bronx, I think. But look at that. It's so good. Go get one of these bags, guys. They're super well made, and I love it. Anyway, it is holding my Sweater of Swords. This is a colorwork sweater pattern by Dear Ingenue. I love her patterns. And it's like sitting on like holder needles right now because I had to rub the needles for another project. But yeah, I'm using Malabrigo and Reflecting Pool. I do know it is Malabrigo March. It's fine. I'm not planning on knitting on this right now. In the blue green. And then, but it is so epic. And then the speckled yarn is actually a one of a kind from Wool Met Verve, and I dig it. I got that yarn in Brooklyn at the Wool Met Verve in Brooklyn at Woolen. My only time going there because I don't go to Brooklyn a lot. So anyway, it's just sitting on hold. I'd love to finish that as well. I'd love to have all the sweaters for next fall. Seriously. Maybe one of these will be my Rhinebeck sweater. Maybe I will finally go to Rhinebeck. Okay. Let's see. Our next pattern. So we are going to my December 1st Advent cast on. This is the Quest shawl. I've done very little on it. One of the challenges I'm finding is I made this grand plan to use up all these minis in 3 different projects for this Advent calendar. So this Advent calendar is the Flower Fairies Advent from Bumblebee Acres Farm in their squishy sock, which is absolutely glorious yarn. It really is great. And I could show you where I'm at. See, it's basically going to be a big long scarf. This is where I was, I think, the last podcast. So I did do some work. I mean, I made sure I put some effort into doing something. So I got through, finished off that color, did another color, and then introduced a new color. And I'm kind of like in that stage of that third color up. The problem with this is because it's all lace, the brioche isn't too bad, but because it's all lace, it requires a lot of thinking. There's a lot of errors in it. Also, I realized that this yarn is beautiful, but it may be too busy for such a lacy pattern. Am I going to finish it? Yes. I'm not going to frog it. I will totally finish this, and it'll be one of those just fun little statement pieces. That's crazy colors. That's so me. So, yeah, so here's the front side. So you can kind of see when it blocks out. I mean, it'll be a great, like, it's just gonna be wild colors, and that's so fun. I have a gray winter coat right now. So, I mean, it'll be a fun pop of color for winter. But again, it's a lot of effort for a lace you can barely see, at least at this stage. I do dig the brioche. If I were to do something like this again, I would totally just do brioche all the way through. Just do brioche and maybe like stockinette, something like that. That's an idea. It is fun to do the D&D kind of roll the die part of it. That has been fun. So that's where we're at with this. So we're in colors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. Let me see. What color am I on? No, I'm in color 7. I'm in color 7 right now. I actually have to roll the die. I don't know. So I'm on the fuchsia fairy. But then what I do when I finish with this project, it goes to the next project. And this is why the next 2 projects there just haven't been enough love put on them because I have to finish with this yarn first, and this is the thing that's holding everything up. Next project is this one, which is the 24-day socks by Potter and Bloom. And I think I've screwed up the pattern a little bit, but they're socks, so I don't really mind. I'm doing them concurrently so that when I'm done with the contrast yarn, I can move it to the next project. So they're basically at the exact same space. So I'll just show you one. But this is where I'm at. I mean, they are very pretty, for sure. I am enjoying them. Neighbor interruption again. So these are the 24-day socks by Potter and Bloom. And both of them are at the exact same space. So you might see like there's some lining up of these slip stitches and they're not supposed to line up. So whatever. They're going to be at my feet. I'm not all that concerned about it. It's fine. If I do them again, I may just line them up to make my life easy. But anyway, they're pretty. They're pretty. I mean, it's a little textured sock. I have, I think, 7, 8, 9. I have 3 more colors to put in before I do the heel. And I think when I get to the heel, I'll work on them a lot more, like on both sides, because that's more knitting. But yeah, I mean, to do both of these socks, like at the most, it's an hour of knitting. I don't even think it's that per color because like, even though I'm going to a contrasting color, it's only like 4 rows per sock. It's nothing. It's like a total of 8 rows on a sock. That takes no time. So it's like I do it and then I put it down. So that's, you know, so again, it's just waiting for this other one. Then the final project that this yarn goes into is a sea glass tee, and it is looking rather fetching. And I have put some other fingering weight leftovers I have. So you can see it's coming along. This is going to be one of those, I think this is like every time I finish something, I'm just going to put it in here. Higgledy-piggledy. As long as there's the whole point is no sparkle yarn in this one because I'm saving up yarn to do one for next year. And that one will be sparkle yarn. I do love how this fits. It's one of my favorite fitting sweaters along with the So Faded sweater. Those two fit me the best. So I find that I'm adapting those patterns how I wish. So like my So Faded, I've done it 3 times now. Once exactly to pattern, I thought. Then another time, that's when I knit backwards, so it came out a little bit weird. And then another time I did it with like 3/4 length sleeves, and this last one I did as a t-shirt. I plan to cast one on for my birthday this year as well, because it tends to be a birthday cast on for me, using lots of different colors. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I think, if I actually look at my queue, like I have the plans to, cast it on, as a long sleeve. And then I am going to make some changes and add some texture to it. I just really love the way it fits. So I'm using all of my, Tweety yarns in this. I do hope by the time there's another Witchy Sabbath thing, Wheel of the Year holiday, which is Beltane is the next one, if I remember right. Yeah, Beltane's the next one. I hope I've finished a couple of these things, at least one of the sweaters, because the next one's a sweater too. Well, it's like a tank top. So anyway, I hope it's done soon. I do plan on doing that, continuing with this Wheel of the Year. It's actually a lot of fun. It's about once every 6 weeks or so you cast on something new. So it keeps you going through things. But I think the in-bulk sweater could actually be off the needles by that point, as long as I continue my rate of knitting at this stage. I don't want to be too organizationally bound by it, only because life is lifing. And actually, I'm doing a lot of really great things. I'm actually going to put in a really fun video of me singing at the last open mic night, which was one of my proudest moments of singing. I hope you guys enjoy it. I've also been practicing my viola a lot and, just really focused on work. We had our big gala and it was beautiful, and it was our 35th anniversary year. And so some politicians came and It's just really great. So like I'm focusing on that, but I'm also trying to focus more on my spiritual and outside of work life and trying to spend some time with Gabe, and trying to, reconnect with Colleen a little bit. She'll be actually in New York in the beginning of April. She's playing at Carnegie Hall with her band, so I'm going to go see her play at Carnegie Hall. And she's doing it before her mom, which is kind of crazy given her mama is a classical musician for a profession. So I'm just really proud of her and I'm really excited for that. But so I've been just trying to explore lots of different things. And so knitting is just a part of my journey. And if it interweaves with my music, and if it interweaves with my art making, and if it interweaves with my spiritual life, all the better. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know what you're working on down in the comments below. What are you looking forward to this spring? And what are you hopeful for? This is a time of new beginnings, and what are you hopeful for the future? Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy spring, everyone. See you next time. Bye.
From the tap to the phoenix. 1, 2, 1, 2.